when writing a book, how do you know when one chapter ends and the next one begins? I'm going to tell you right here in a second. All right, guys, I'm Steve Bivens, the Naked Writing Coach. Don't forget, my 5-hour fuck-on naked book writing boot camp starts actually on Wednesday. So you've got 2 days to sign up if you haven't already. If you have questions about it, let me know. Otherwise, links in my bio. All right, back to the question. How do you know when to end one chapter and start another chapter? This is a difficult thing to explain because there's so much subjectivity to it, especially when you're talking about fiction. It's a little clearer in nonfiction, but all of this, okay, and I say this all the time, is this question has nothing to do with writing the first fucking draft, okay? First draft doesn't matter. If you're on a roll and you're writing one day and you think, well, should I start a new chapter? Stop thinking, just keep writing. Write it all in one chapter or one document or whatever, one page. It doesn't matter at that point. What matters is getting the thoughts out of the head onto the page. Okay, that's the first draft. That's the first draft strategy always, according to me. And I'm right. But you do have to, make this decision later. And this is kind of the first or second step in editing, okay, is divided. It's really, I call it the second step in editing, but it's mostly when I do it. The first step, you're just reading through, seeing what's missing, then rewriting that, writing the stuff that's missing. The second step, you start to shuffle things around, and that's when maybe you've got a chapter that's way too long. It should probably be 2 chapters. Now, how do you decide where to divide the chapters? Because that's the question, right? Well, in fiction, think of it as like a movie and a scene from a movie. When you shift from one character's perspective to another, it could be a chapter, unless you're trying to do a chapter where the two things are happening at the same time, and you're trying to show how these two characters are, where they are at the same time. But you don't want that to get too long either. So if both of their stories in that chapter are really long, then you might want to make them 2 chapters. There's no rule to this, okay? Let me say that and emphasize that there are no fucking rules to what is a chapter, how long it should be or not be, how short it should be, whatever. There are no rules, okay? This is all subjective. But if you think of it kind of like movie scenes, if you have a long scene with one character, then that's probably a chapter. If you have, 2 or 3 short scenes with different characters, they could be in the same chapter, depending on does that really work, right? I hope that helps. There's no rule to go by. So it's difficult to really nail that down, but it's about feel in the end. All right, nonfiction. Okay, I'm getting to nonfiction now. There's also no rule. But what you're trying to do, if let's say your book is about a topic, say you're writing about gardening or something, right? You're gonna have different topics that you want to talk about. some of them are tiny little topics that fit in a bigger chapter. So it's kind of an organizational way of looking at it. So do these things fit together? Then that's probably one chapter or whatever, or section. If it's your life story, then you treat it more like fiction, because if you're writing a bio, and so then you would treat it more like the fiction scenario. Does this, have we changed scenes, locations or time frame or whatever, are things that you can use to divide up your chapters. All right, I hope this helped. It's not an easy answer, because there are no fucking rules to it. There's really not many rules to any of this, to be honest. It's not. That's why I call it naked writing, because there are no rules to cover you up. Let me know if you have help. If you need any help, you know where to go. And don't forget to sign up for the camp. If you're on the bubble, let's do it. Fuck on. Let's write your book.